Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Today, we're going to be talking about the new building, the mess hall. And what I'm going to really cover is me giving 2 thumbs down and 2 middle fingers up. That's right. It's time for another episode of What Was You Thinking? Yeah, I don't like the mess hall. Going to be giving out What Was You Thinkings to everybody this time, including myself. Start with me first. Yes, what was I thinking? Being against the mess hall when I'm sure everybody out there loves it. Oh, look at all the boosts it gets. It gets you weapon boost, trick cost efficiency, officer stat, and research speed, and all that other shit. Yeah? Well, on the surface, it looks nice. Down below, it doesn't, all the other stuff that goes along with it doesn't really look that good to me. That's what I was thinking. So let's go on to people that designed this. One big thing that really sticks out in my mind. What does it cost to upgrade this building? Yes, you do need to have, officer levels, but the fancy little resource that you get in a daily drip, what's it called? Replicator ration. Hey, Mr. Game Maker Peoples, or Mrs. Game Maker Peoples. That's a Voyager thing. Why is this, for this Picard arc? They have replicator rations in Picard? Or is that Voyager? I completely understand that your parent company owns a studio that's making Picard, and they're like, oh, put Picard in your game and promote the show. Completely understand that you got pressure from your boss to jam this Picard arc in here. Probably kind of like you did with Strange New Worlds. But you can't bring out the mess hall, which, if I remember correctly, the first Star Trek show I remember hearing that in was Voyager. It's also Voyager. And then replicator rations. Something in Voyager. Don't remember it being in any place else. Of course, my Star Trek knowledge isn't that good. Also, the girlfriend thinks that too. This is from Voyager. This was supposed to be the Voyager arc. Or at the very least, the mess hall was supposed to come out during Voyager. They get pressured to do this Picard stuff. It's like, oh, what feature do we make? Well, the mess hall's ready to go. Kinda. Because they've already made changes to it. Now on to everybody else. What was you thinking that this is a good building? This is not a good building. It's not a free-to-play building. It's not a good building. It is a pay to have really good building. Sure, you can get a few levels. I'll show you a PDF later about the stipulations for your officer levels and how far you can actually get the building. So if you think about it this way. There's 2 roadblocks to upgrading your mess hall. Stipulations, roadblocks, however. There's your number of replicator rations and the number of levels you have on your officers. You can have millions upon millions of replicator rations. If you don't have the officer level, you can't do jack. Oh, it's not like a shortcut. It looks like a shortcut to me. I'll show you why I think this is terrible. Taking a look at my officers. Yes, I've been playing 3 years. And I have several officers that most people would not level up. But at the time, It was years ago. There weren't that many. There weren't as many officers out as there are now. Faction Hunt honestly ran a whole hell of a lot more. Let's take a look at upgradable folks. And these are just uncommon. Well, one common and the uncommon. Look at 8 of 11. How old that officer is. And I only have him at tier 3, level 15. Look how many more shards I got. He's maxed. But yet, I haven't spent the currency to max him. Now, because of this mess hall, these levels count. Now, why have I not maxed him? Why? Well, one big thing, especially with the Borgs, active nanoprobes used to be terribly sourced. They're a little better now. And as you can see, I do have badges. And I currently have enough independent credit for this guy. But again, I would be tearing him up twice because I have that many shards of him. Let's look at Javid, or Javid, however. I'm terrible with words, especially Star Trek names. Terrible with it. Faction credit. I don't really want to spend Romulan credit because I would like to get one of the epic ships, epic 4-star ships. I know people say don't go after them, but what I heard, 5-star territory is trash, so I don't really want to go into it. Or if I do go into it, I want to have a 4-star epic. They're really expensive. But either way, ships are expensive regardless. So you would have to think about that when you're deciding who to level up. I do have enough officer XP, again, for this guy. What am I lacking, though? Something I'm sure when folks say officer sourcing, they don't really think of. In my mind, officer sourcing isn't just getting enough shards to unlock. It's getting enough shards to fully upgrade. Yes, some officers are very usable at tier 1. But as you level up and everybody else levels up, you'll get to a point where these officer abilities are useless unless you max their tiers. But I can't with Javid here. Not that I would want to. Maybe Javid's a bad example. Let's scroll down further. Here we go. New Pike. Know how much hostile grinding you're going to have to do. I have to do. We all have to do. Lots of it. This guy's a really good captain. And I can tier him up to 4. At least I have enough shards. But can I tier him up? No. Because the badge sourcing is absolute trash. It's almost an insult to trash to say that badge sourcing is trash. Like it's worse than trash. I don't even know if you could actually say there is badge sourcing in this game. They just kind of randomly appear. Again, faction credit. And this guy's an epic. So each... I mathed it out. STFC.space will have what the officer XP cost is for all the levels of your officers. Epic officers to get from level 20 to level 30. And remember, levels count now. And they really do count now because of the mess hall. To get from like level 20 to level 30 is about 23 million officer XP, maybe more. That's a lot. Yes, I have about enough for that, but remember, I gotta do 15 to 20 first. And I know I don't have enough of his shards to max him out. Lorca. Lorca's another one I wanted. But look at that. Yes, I do have enough independent credits. I'd be out of... I can never remember which one these are. There's a pigtail and then the egg. Okay, egg is science. I don't know if I'll ever remember that. Where is 5? Oh, here it is. This is one that pisses me off. Really pisses me off. Finally, I got enough shards to go to tier 4. Guess what? Yeah. This matters now. Not only in regards to using this officer, who's really good in armadas, but for the mess hall. If you don't hit the promote button, you can't do the levels. Levels count now. So yes, it is kind of a free-to-play mechanic because you do get the fancy replicator rations for free. But how do you level up the officers? Because you gotta have officer levels to be able to do the mess hall. So what was all of y'all thinking out there when you're like, yay, mess hall is cool? Did you not think that you actually had to level up the officers, or did you think the requirements would be low? No, the requirements are high. Yes, you can go up to you can go up to level 99 with your mess hall. But no, not really. Because there aren't enough officers yet. So how good is it? I mean, it's nice that they put something in there that they may not have to upgrade too much later. Maybe. But we still got to get the levels on the officers. How do you do that? Now I'm close. I am close. But it's taken me, 2-3 weeks? And what am I not getting in that time? 13,000 charge nano approach, which isn't terrible, but again, robbing Peter to pay Paul here. Not to mention all the other stupid ass officers I can level up. Rom, he also wants independent credit. Have to start all over again. Harry Muddy is somewhere. I could level him up. Look at that. I need to get back up to 9,000. Look, I already showed you need to get up to 9,000. I don't even have enough Federation credit to upgrade Carol. Or badges. Yes, I understand that she's not that good. She's pretty good for stats. Okay? You're going to want her below decks. She's fairly decent on away team missions. And also, levels still count. I'd love to upgrade this guy. Look at all the especially command badges. Especially command badges. Badges really just need to get gotten rid of. Like, what was you thinking when you put in badges? There are 4 roadblocks for officers. The shards, the XP, the faction credit, and, well, I didn't move my fingers right, but 4. Right? XP, shards, faction credit, badges. 4. I'm sure some of you knew that, but I just don't think it dawned on a lot of people when this mess hall came out. All right, let's take you to some. This is a screenshot from Rev Deuce's Discord. It's the graphics he made for his video yesterday. And you can already It's not the greatest setup here, but just screenshotting it just to talk about it. And have Rev Deuce's name in here because I'm trying to say that, this isn't my stuff. This is Rev Deuce stuff, and I'll talk about him in a little bit. But you can already see how they did change the numbers on all these little buffs for the mess hall already. Good job. What was y'all thinking when you made him so low to begin with? Was that damage? Yeah. And then you added damage. What was you thinking when you added damage instead of officer resource sourcing? I think I would have liked that better than damage. You got exocomps, you got all kind of research. How much other bullshit increases your damage? How about increasing my badge income or my officer XP income? That is something people would like a lot more, or at least in my opinion. What did Rev Deuce say in his video? He likes it. He thinks it's a free-to-play mechanic. I'm sorry, Rev. I gotta disagree with you there. To me, this just isn't a free-to-play mechanic. Yes, you get replicator rations for free. But how do you level up your officers? Okay, sure. Yes, you can do that for free. Can you? I'm not a free-to-play player. And you saw all those officers that I have ready to be upgraded and levels added to them. And I hadn't done it yet. And why is that? Because I was missing the currency on a lot of them. Or for some of the small ones, like some of the uncommon ones and the common ones, I don't want to waste the currency on those guys. I want to use them on the ones, the good officers, the officers I'm going to use a lot. So no, not a free-to-play mechanic. Well, however, next topic. This is a PDF made by Jules Verne. Very active in the Star Trek Fleet Command community. Makes a lot of PDFs. Usually they put their name on this one, but they didn't this time. So, an ask to all you people out there. I won't go with what was you thinking, even though I'm kind of thinking it. I'll just ask you, please put your name on this. You did all the hard work here, or you did some of it. Put your name on it, and all the people that helped you. Put their name. Don't. Or your gamer tag, or a fancy chat room name, or however. To me, it just feels weird to not have visual confirmation of who did. But it's just me. Let's look at, where was I at? 30 something? 3,400 something. So I can get it up to 50 something level, 50 whatever the hell. That's cool. But how do I get further? So where would I be? Low 50s. How do I get to the high 50s? Well, starting to get like 4,000. So 600 more levels. Right? Am math right? Approximately 600 more levels. 600. Without badge sourcing, without officer XP sourcing, without more faction credit, it ain't happening. So you know what kind of mechanic this is? It's a money mechanic. Yes, there are packs. You can go in the store and buy faction credit, officer XP, and badges in the same pack. Think about that. This is not exactly a free-to-play mechanic. It's not. And it's fine. Make things to have people, buy stuff to get upgraded superly, or whatever words actually work there. But what was y'all thinking? This just makes the problem worse. What do you think about officer sourcing? Quite literally, what was you thinking about officer sourcing? Not that it really applies to that one there. Do you think officer sourcing is good, or do you think it's bad? If you think it's bad, and at least players like me, or me for instance, have all these officers that I can't upgrade, then how bad is the officer resource sourcing? It has to be even worse. If it's taking you a long time to get the officers, and then you start getting these officers, and you still ain't got this shit to level them up, then what? What was y'all thinking? We really need to stop saying all this stuff is good. And maybe what we really need to do is say what we actually want. More officer XP, more badges, more faction credit, more officer shards. We want all 4 of them. We don't just want more officer shards. More officer shards, whatever I said. More officer shards doesn't help. Well, I guess that's not true. It does help, but it's not the end of the equation there. There's still 3 other things that get factored in there. So comment below, how many officers do you have enough shards for, but can't upgrade, or won't upgrade because you don't want to waste the resources on lesser officers? Think about that. Think about this. Is this a good mechanic? I say no. That's why I say, what was you thinking with this dumbass mess hall? But that's just me. I'm kind of an ass. Anyway, time for me to go. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.